about last night, this fantastic event that we missed. This young lady was on our show. Freya Pruitt is her name. She is the editor-in-chief of Today's Texas Woman. Well, last night she had a wonderful celebration honoring Kathleen Cooper, who is just the Madame du jour when it comes to realty.
Oh, yeah. Cooper Realty, exactly.
Yeah, so she celebrated her last night with a fantastic event over at the Josephine Theater, and really and truly what Freya is doing with the magazine is just honoring great women in Texas. And I hear, Eileen, from a little birdie who was there last night, that Miss Freya can throw a party.
That's what I heard too. I mean, just looking at the video itself, you already know.
So there's Freya.
Look at that.
Look, my goodness.
Even a PowerPoint presentation.
It's fabulous.
I know.
Right? And she did it in black sequins. Anytime you put on black sequins, anything goes from great to fabulous, doesn't it? And so our executive producer, Cassandra Lazenby, got the chance to be out there with Kathleen and also Freya on the big night. And so a lot of fun for the women in San Antonio. Congratulations to Freya for doing a fantastic thing by honoring women in Texas.
And I heard you last week while you were interviewing her, I heard you last week say, what about Boots Walker, our very own Boots Walker?
I do believe she
maybe you should
today's
consider
Texas
her.
woman, not just because she's my boss, but because she's a great woman in Texas.
Yes.
If I had to... Right?
If you had to consider somebody,
you
of course.
Consider somebody, why not? Okay. Well, there's a lot of women in Texas who simply make this state great. Now they'll be featured in a hot magazine. One of those outstanding women is here this morning to tell us all about it. She happens to be the editor-in-chief of Today's Texas Woman. Her name, Freya Pruitt. Please help me welcome Freya.
Hello, Freya. God bless.
Every now and then, I sit on the couch with people whose energy I feel immediately. And that, my dear, is you. Welcome to Great DSA.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about, first of all, before we talk about this fantastic magazine, which is celebrating women of all kinds, you have an amazing and storied life. Where did it start for you, Freya? Where are you from originally?
New York City.
New York City.
New York.
Yeah. So you got to do all of the things that people dream about doing, which is entertaining.
Yeah. I started out on Madison Avenue. Well, I might as well get it out of the way. That was the original meow, 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 meow.
That was your voice?
Oh, yes. Still on the air today. Yeah. The cat.
It's iconic.
The cat's dead, though. But I'm not.
But the voice lives on.
Yeah, the voice lives on,
Yeah, and so you have been in the entertainment industry most of your life.
Yes.
Queen of the 80s, doing rock concerts and film and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so now at this stage in your life, you've found a way to use some of that vibrancy and you want to turn the spotlight on other women. Tell us about how you're doing that.
Well, I used to go on stage in front of 50,000 people, and they'd scream and yell and get all excited, and I'd kind of be embarrassed, not the type of mentality you would need for a performer.
Yeah.
I loved people. But what I loved more than anything was to mix a record, to go in and produce a record, sing it, mix it, and publishing is exactly like this, like mixing a record. It's fabulous.
Right.
And I get to meet these great women of all ages and fascinating backgrounds and be able to intrinsically extract, so to speak, their essence of who they are and write about them from the heart, not in a generic way.
And so, and so you said, look, I think I have an outlet for this, and this is what you're doing really with this amazing magazine. I'd love to show this cover here. This is Kathleen Cooper, of course, Cooper Realty. You know them. Isn't she fantastic?
Oh my goodness, yes.
She's amazing.
She is the quintessential woman of all time. She has the energy. You think I have energy and you have energy?
Kathleen got energy.
Oh, goodness, girl.
She's got energy.
She's amazing.
And a successful businesswoman to boot, you know?
Yes. In fact, she has you all have got to read this story about her because she started like 30 years ago and went to her son and said, well, I think I want to do real estate. I got my license.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay, Mama, you go ahead and see what you can do. And she said, well, I guess I will do what I can do. And 30 years later, I mean, they're practically a $5 billion company.
That's right.
Because of her.
Because of her.
And just tremendous energy, and but she has a heart. And when I did her cover and I talked to her, I said, Kathleen, I don't write in a generic way. I want to know your heart. And she's tremendous. She lost her daughter at a young age. There won't be a dry eye anywhere, Bridget, in San Antonio when they read that article. She's just fabulous.
Well, and what I do love about your magazine so much is, I mean, you know, any magazine can talk about accolades and achievements, but you really, as you mentioned, get to the heart of who is this person? What has allowed them to endure over, you know, tragedy and loss and that kind of thing, and still be a shining example of all that women can be?
And that's what I want to say to women. I mean, you should be alive and vibrant throughout your whole life. I meet women, yes, woo-hoo, yes,
Yeah?
which I am. I'm crazier now than I was when I was doing
going to say before, when you were doing rock concerts. And who are you doing rock concerts with? Did you have a best time?
Oh, yeah. Well, I did have a best time, but the industry that goes along with the rock concerts was kind of obviously very bizarre, which I never fit into. So I was in L.A. for 10 years in the 80s, and I would drive up PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, and go hide in Malibu in my house, and then go, oh, gotta go back to the studio, go to the studio and do a film or a rock concert, and then go and perform, and then go hide.
Yeah.
And then I came to Texas in 1990 and stayed and loved it. And I love SA. In fact, I have just actually gone on my Facebook page, which we're all going back and forth on, and said, SA is my home. And that's a big deal for someone in New York, from New York. Yeah,
and I was going to say, when you talk about living, you know, the life of, you know, performing in rock concerts and doing films, we hear all these crazy stories. What I love so much is that you seem still very grounded in who you are.
God bless you.
No, you know what I mean? Because you hear so many crazy stories about people who veer off the path because they got caught up in whatever. But you say, in many ways, this magazine is your destiny.
It is my destiny. It is. Now I know, and there's not too many people that can say this. I know exactly why I was born, why I was put on the earth, and it's to do this. I never had the narcissistic viewpoint that a performer is supposed to have. I was about people. So now I can produce people, and that's what makes me happy.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I love people.
I have an idea for somebody who can be on the cover of your today's
How about
Texas
you,
Woman.
darling?
Well, I got a better person.
Come on now. Come on.
Do you know Boots Walker?
Cool. Woohoo!
Oh, yeah.
But now, Bridget, you got to do one of my covers next year.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you're doing this, Freya.
Good.
Congratulations to you and the magazine. You can nominate great women in Texas. Today's TexasWoman.com is the website, or you can click on Contact Us, 210-689-3692. And here's the website, kens5.com/.
Look in your eyes and I can see you've loved so dangerously.